everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for our weekly recap of Sistas. This is season 4, episode 4, and it was titled The Night Game. All right, y'all, before I jump into this recap review, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And hit that thumbs up button if you end up liking this recap review. All right, y'all. So I thought I was 2 episodes behind, but I really was only 1 episode behind. And nothing in that episode really mattered except for the ending where Bree and Calvin was out at dinner and stuff like that. And child, why that man come up to Bree up there having this whole conversation like he ain't see Calvin sitting there? And so then he's trying to give Bree his phone number, and she like, I'm with somebody or whatever. And he was like, oh, my bad. I didn't know y'all was on a date. I thought that was just your friend. Woo! I was dying. I was so deceased. But anyway, Calvin get all up in his feelings and stuff like that. He want to get up and fight the man. I said, Lord, here we go. I'm like, because I guess the man was going to say, well, he thought he was gay and he just his friend. I think that's where he was going. And I'm kind of like, I mean, you see I don't know. Look, we ain't going to go back to what I feel, okay? Because I feel like Calvin a little bi. But that's just me. Or he just freaky. I don't know. But I mean, if I would have saw Calvin in the restaurant and he was wearing a see-through shirt, because he got on a see-through sleeve shirt and all that other stuff, a little fancy blouse and stuff like that, I would have assumed that, oh, maybe he just like her friend. You know what I'm saying? And I would have went over there, but I would have said hello to, you know what I mean? Say, hey, introduce yourself to him. Don't act like he invisible or whatever, and then turn around. But the man apologized for ignoring Calvin or whatever. Calvin want to get all of his feelings and buck up and all the other stuff, and that's how the episode ended last week. So this week, Calvin get his ass beat again. I said, Calvin, you ain't learned the first time when Jacoby spun you around in a circle, but whatever, child. The dudes, they fighting and stuff. The dude that came over introducing himself to Bree, he ends up getting pulled away by his friend. Calvin mad at Bree, talking about something, you ain't stand up for me, you ain't say nothing. And she was like, but I did say no. And like, you act like I knew him or something. I don't even know him. And I did say, well, I'm here with my friend or whatever, or my boyfriend. And he was like, so then she was just like, well, wait, why are you mad at me? So then Calvin like, well, I'm ready to go and stuff. And you out here, you brought him. It was just like, he was accusing her of setting it all up or whatever. I was just like, what in the world? Talking about something. Oh, I see what you doing. I understand. And she like, well, I want to just talk to you, understand what's going on and stuff. He like, I don't want to talk about it. And so she getting mad because she like, you know what, since you bucking up at me, I don't even want to go home with you. He like, oh, you serious? You don't want to go home? She was like, no, I'm going to catch an Uber or whatever. He was like, well, you serious? You ain't going to roll home with me? Like, come on, Bree. No, you was just talking to me all crazy or whatever. Now you want me to go home with you or whatever because we rolled together. I'm good or whatever. So then he was like, oh, I see what's going on. Dude probably coming back. He coming back. She like, what? He like, yeah, he coming back over here. I said, is he trying to call her a hoe? Like, what is going on? And so she was like, well, you ain't want me to take care of nothing because remember, you the man, you got everything handled. He like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. You like him or whatever. You want me to be more like Jacoby and stuff. I said, who the hell said something about Jacoby? Like, what is wrong with you? I was like, he acting like this a scam and put together by Todd. I said, child, So then Calvin, he walked away or whatever. I was like, he got some major issues that he need to work out before he try to get in some relationship. Anyway, we back with Andy and Karen, and they riding in that pretty blue Rolls Royce, child. That thing was pretty. I love the color blue. That's my favorite color. All shades of blue. And that car, oh my God. Anyway, Karen basically tells Andy, because they going back to the garage, because the last week's episode, that shit was so corny. She got pulled over by some fake cops or whatever, child. And then they were singing something. He wants you back. He's sorry. I was dying. But anyway, They back at the garage or whatever. So Karen basically telling Andy, like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't call Gary up. Don't tell him nothing. Make sure you remember that he had tracked the car or whatever. And she like, I ain't gonna do nothing. I ain't gonna do nothing. I promise I ain't gonna do nothing. She like, have fun. She was like, hey, what you say? She was like, nothing, girl. I just said, take care, be fine. Cause Andy basically saying like, it was real romantic, that, he knows she likes romantic gestures and stuff. And I'm like, girl, but he was tracking you. How you think he knew where to tell the cops to go or whatever. So she was like, but remember he was tracking you. Girl, I got it or whatever. So Andy go to her apartment. Karen go to her car or whatever. But while she going to her car, she calling Aaron up. Aaron playing basketball. So he outside playing basketball, whatever like that. Karen like, well, I don't want to bother you. I just wanted to talk to you or whatever. He was like, oh, well, I can come meet you. You not bothering me. Because at first he was surprised, like, oh, what's she calling me for? Like, I'm surprised she calling me. But she ends up calling him, and then long story short, she ends up meeting him at the basketball court or whatever. He tells her where to, drop a dime at. And then he was like, oh, I just want you to know before you roll up here acting crazy that Gary here. So she was like, oh, okay, ain't no problem. I'm fine with seeing Gary. Danny, she at the house. She, cause after the whole thing with the Preston and the girl at the hair salon, she went in the back, this last week's episode, she went in the back to talk to Preston. And basically, Preston was like, well, you said you don't want to talk to me no more. We not together. So I met this girl. And so then Danny was like, well, don't nobody want to talk about calves and cows and all this other shit. And so she was just like, and so not she. He was like, well, she a veterinarian and she know more about calves than I do, yada, 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 and we finna go to a rodeo. So Danny, all of her feelings like, oh, okay, well, have fun. So you gonna go out on a date with her? And he like, yeah. And he was like, well, you let me know what parts of me that you like, and then let me know, whatever. But I'm gonna go on this date and be free. So he going on a little date. She and her feelings. She mad at Karen, and because Karen called her down there. But misery loves company and all that other stuff. Fast forward to this episode, because in the last week's episode, she had called El Fuego and told him, like, come over my house. So now she meeting him for the booty call. He come over. She all wishy-washy. First, she got all her little lingerie. She got her boobs all hoisted and stuff. And he like, you looking like a snack. And she like, well, you tell all your girls that. He was like, I don't want no other girl. I just want you. And so she like, And he like, no, for real. Because he been wanting her since college or whatever. So she like, whatever. Then she like, take off your clothes. So then he take off his clothes. And then she like, you do that for everybody? He like, well, you just told me to take off my clothes. And yeah, I do that for a living. So then she like, no, I don't think I want to do this with you. Put your clothes back on. So then he put his clothes back on. Then he like, you real confusing. And she like, I know. I'm not used to all this, because I seemed like she was trying to contemplate her whole card. So she was like, I cashed that whole card in a long time ago, but do I want to get it back? And so then she was like, you know what? What's wrong with me being a hoe? So let me get up in this bed and then bow chicky wow wow. So then he get undressed because she got the covers was like, bring it here, Big Daddy. And then they started bow chicky wow wowing, but it looked like it was uncomfortable because he didn't even like start with nothing. He just like kissed the neck and was just like boom. I was like, oh, I hope she lubed up and stuff, because not everybody. Never mind. But anyway, apparently it got knocking because they was knocking over stuff. The bed was pulled away from the wall, and then they knocked over the partition and all this other stuff. I said, oh, okay, child. But then she had sent him on his way early in the morning, so maybe it wasn't all that good. But then again, she had to go to work. But we're going to get to that later. Anyway, that was it that had happened. So then we see Bree. So Bree, she's still sitting at the table. Now, see, what had made me mad about the whole restaurant scene, they eat the food. And I was sitting over here hungry, like, whatever that was on that plate looking good, and they eat the food. Now, see, I need Tyler to be consistent with stuff, child. Because in his movies, he be having people eating fake food. But then in this episode, in this show, he be having real food on the plate. Well, it look real. But they don't be eating the food. So why are we wasting food? I just want to make sure, why are we wasting food? But anyway, I was like, but Brie, you sitting there, you got the little asparagus over the salmon and then the mashed potatoes. Why you ain't eat the food? You just sitting there at the table contemplating life, but you ain't eating the food, child, or sipping the wine. It was a mystery to me. But at any rate, she's sitting at the table. Old dude, the chocolatey guy, he came over, the one who beat up Calvin. He came over there. She was like, no, no, no. And he was like, I ain't worried about you. I lost my watch. So then she was like, oh, well, here it go right here. So he was like, oh, you had my watch. She was like, whatever. So then he like, you want me to sit here with you? You good? She was like, no, I'm good. I don't need you to sit over here. I'm surprised they let you back in the restaurant after that whole fight. And he was like, well, I own this joint. She was like, whatever. This is a chain restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he can't own the chain. But then he was like, yeah, I know. So she was like, oh, okay, well, congratulations on your success. So he was like, well, thank you. You want me to buy you a drink, get you a drink or whatever? She was like, no, I'm good. Actually, I need to go. So he was like, what he say? He had said something before that. And then, yeah, he was like, oh, well, let me leave before dude come back or whatever. She was like, no, he ain't coming back. He was like, oh, he left you here? You want me to beat him up again? died. I said, deceased. She was like, not funny. He was like, yeah, it was too soon. And I was like, yeah, it was. It was just like 5 minutes ago, dude. Like, give it a break. At least 10, 20 minutes, you give it a break. But anyway, she was like, no, I'm going to catch this ride share. He was like, well, you want me to ride you? She was like, no. So he was like, oh, okay, well, catch your Uber, girl. You want to stay inside because it's a little chilly out. But stay inside the door and stuff like that. But don't let my good heat out because I don't want to have to pay the bill because you waiting for your ride share. So then she was just like, all right, bet. And then she left. He didn't say all that about the ride share. But, she did leave. Oh, he was just like, take my card, whatever. And she was just like, I was like, girl, just take that man card. Okay, so then she did take the card and then she left. I was like, why is Bree mad at this man when Calvin was the one who wanted to go fisticuffs? And then, because the man had apologized several times. So I don't understand what else Calvin wanted him to apologize for. Like, whatever. Anyway, we see Andy. She in her bedroom, her little cute lingerie and stuff. And she contemplating life. She like, should I call Gary? Should I tell him like, thank you for the card and the presents? Or no, thank you, Gary, for the Rolls Royce. Or then she was like, no. So she was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to just block his ass. So then she go pick up her telephone. And so she like, oh, Robin calling me. So Robin called. He like, hey, baby, what's going on? He don't talk like that. His voice kind of, hey, how you doing? So then he was like calling her up, talking to her. And so she getting all, all juicy and stuff. And then she's smiling and whatnot. And then she asking him about the flight and it was going good. And, because he flying back to the UK. He flirting, she flirting. They was about the phone bowchky wow. But then she was like, the phone was like, boop. And I believe it was Gary or whatever, because, But anyway, so she was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm just a little tired, so I'm going to just go to bed. And he was like, oh, okay, because are you sure you're not going to come? He was like, she was like, no, not tonight. But maybe, when you come back or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay, well, go talk to him or whatever. She was like, what? Talk to him? I'm not talking to him. What are you talking about? He was like, I heard the phone beep, Andy. Oh, okay, well. Good night, Robin. Good night. So she was like, I am definitely not calling Gary's ass back. So she didn't call him. I said, oh, okay, Andy, because she might call him next episode because she like presents and she like expensive things. So, ain't nothing wrong with that. Anyway, we see Karen. She arrives at the basketball court. So she at the court. Aaron like, I'm going to sit out this game out or whatever. She like, y'all play basketball kind of late. He was like, yeah, this is the only time everybody can gather around. And sometimes we be out here till 1, 2 in the morning playing basketball. And I'm like, don't y'all gotta go to work in the morning time? Now I'm gonna say if it was like a Friday night and then, they, playing up until Saturday because most people don't have to work on Saturday except for us blue collar people. You know what I'm saying? But at any rate, I'm like, but y'all working like on a weekday because then everybody had to go to work the next day. It was just weird. But anyway, this is Tyler Perry world, child. So they all playing basketball and stuff like that. He go over there, talk to her, and then here come Gary, square head ass. Hey, how you doing, Karen? How you doing? She's like, hi, Gary. Oh, okay. Just, you look nice. Thank you. Oh, okay, I'm ahead. She was like, yeah, you can get gone now. You can get gone. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna head over here. Yeah, all right, bye. I was just like, Gary, ain't nobody asked you to come over there. Like, why? Why would you waste your time? Come on now. Anyway, Aaron and Karen talking. So she's saying like she want to tell him something. She want to have a conversation with him. And I'm assuming it's the fact that she pregnant. But she said she didn't want to talk to him there while he was all out with the boys and stuff. Because I'm like, well, what was the point of you coming to the basketball court, child, if you ain't want to have a conversation with him? Why is we prolonging this? But anyway, he like, well, you want to go to you want to go back to your house? And she was like, no, because if you go back to my house, you know, it's going to be a little something. He was like, well, I can hold out. I can restrain myself. She was like, you sure you can restrain yourself? I'm sure I can, girl. I didn't restrain myself for this goddamn long. I can keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, all right, all right. So then he said he was going to follow her. So he go gather up his stuff. The ball come bouncing over there. Child, is Zach. So I'm like, Zach playing basketball with them? And so Aaron act like he ain't realized it was Zach playing basketball. But I'm like, Zach ain't realized that was Aaron playing basketball. Even though they was on two different teams, it's not like they was on two different courts. They was on the same court on two different teams. Don't you see the people that you playing ball with, and you like, oh, there go that short light-skinned boy right there that wanted to fight me all the time. Oh, there go that tall light-skinned dude that was smashing my girl and said he wasn't smashing my girl. Like, come on now, like, what? So that had confused me. But whatever. So she like, oh, y'all play basketball together? He was like, I ain't even know because I ain't never seen him before. Now, granted, in the last week's episode, Zach was saying he don't really get the chance to play basketball with everybody because he used to have to work double shifts and all this other stuff. So he wasn't at all the games. But at this game, you didn't see Zach playing. Make that make sense. Was it that dark outside? Like, come on now. Anyway, it wasn't nothing real because he was just like, hi, Karen. She was like, hi, Zach. And then he went on with the ball. So then Aaron and Karen, they both leave or whatever. So Zach, they like all the dudes was just like, all right, well, we gonna call it a night or whatever. Cause Gary was like, I'm gonna call it a night. Then Zach was like, I'm gonna call it a night too. So then Gary and Zach, they start linking up to my, oh yeah, that was a good game, dude. You know how to play that ball. You know how to play that ball too, dude. You know, like what you do? What's your name? My name Gary. What's your name? My name's Zach. Oh, okay, all right. Well, what you do? I'm a hedge fund. What do you say? I'm a hedge fund attorney or whatever. Oh, is he an attorney? No, he do hedge funds or whatever. He was like, oh, okay. What you do? I'm in stocks. Boy, you went to one stock. Okay, one stock, and the way you got that stock, we ain't gonna talk about it. But anyway, he was like, oh, okay, all right, man, all right. He was like, well, you got a card or something? I was like, yeah, I got a card in my car over there. Oh, that's your car? Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, that's your car, man. So they, checking out each other's dicks. But anyway, Gary was like, well, next time we play, we're going to be on the same team. And he was like, oh, yeah, man, no doubt, no doubt. So then they go to the car, yada, yada, yada. We see Zach, he done got to Fatima's house fast to tell child. She's sleeping. She wake up. She like, well, how was the game? And he was like, it was good or whatever. And then she was saying, no, he said something. No, I forgot. He said, thanks for trusting me or whatever. She was like, well, I'm going to believe you until you give me a reason not to. So then he was just like, yeah, I like that. But I stopped off at somebody's house, the chick house. She was like, oh, you ain't tell me you stopped off at nobody's house. See, you play with my heart. That's it. I'm crazy. So then she start grabbing her robe and child throwing it over herself. And then she go in the bathroom. And in the bathroom, he got like all these pictures of her sleeping in black and white. It was so cute. It was romantical. And then so she all smiling and stuff. And then he like, baby, I love you, girl. I love you. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for being here. And I'll never F you over. And then if she was like, oh, okay, well, if you ever feel like you're going to F me over, will you let me know you're going to F me over? He was like, so if you do the same for me, I ain't never gonna F you over because I love you. I love you too, girl. All right, then they kiss. And that was so cute. They like, oh, I love them. They are a cute couple. Anyway, Aaron and Karen, child, they still ain't doing it. They ain't no bio chicky nothing over there. So then they in the bed. He get up, talking about, I told you I could hold restraint. I told you, girl. I told you I just finished doing what I needed to do in the bathroom and came out here with you. He didn't say all that. He did say he could, handle restraint. But anyway, he wanted to have a conversation that she wanted to talk about, but now she don't want to have a conversation. I said, Karen, why is you wasting this man's time? Like, what was the whole purpose of you saying you wanted to talk if you don't want to talk? So then she's saying that she don't want to do this roller coaster ride with him, and she is processing everything, and blah, blah, blah. He like, I love you, girl. I love you. So take this time to process. I said, whoo, child, he got the patience of Job. But anyway, they say he ain't going nowhere. I'm like, wait till you find out she pregnant. But anyway, she like, why you so sweet? And then they give a little kissy kiss. And then he like, it's because of you, boo. And he like, and so she like, oh, I'm just waiting for you to flip out. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Because he was like, flip out? What you mean flip out? She was like, well, you just too good to be true. I don't know. He was like, well, I'm an open book. I'm an open book, girl. She was like, all right. I said, girl, wait till you tell that man you is pregnant. Anyway, Andy, we see her leaving for work, and then she again contemplating life. She trying to convince herself not to drive in that pretty blue Rolls Royce. I'd have drove the car. I mean, it's in my name, so technically it's mine. I mean, I just gotta find out where he put the tracking device, but that's easy. We can take that to the mechanic, had that ripped out, baby. But she decides, she ain't going to do it because then Karen had called her, don't do it, girl. Don't do it. Mind your business. But anyway, she says she ain't going to do it. She ain't going to get in the car or nothing like that. She just going to take her old whip and stuff. And then Karen ends up telling her that Aaron, Gary, and Zach was playing basketball. She was like, what? Like, how do they even know each other? Like, that don't make no sense. I said, girl, that's what I was saying, but who is me? And so then Karen said, well, Atlanta is a small world, especially for straight men. I said, it ain't that damn small. Like, they all on the same, but whatever, child. Anyway, she was just asking, Andy was asking Karen, like, what everybody said. She was just like, Gary tried to talk to me, but I shut that down. Zach, he ain't really say nothing to me, so you could tell, you can go run to your girl that he ain't try to push up on me and nothing like that. She was like, I'm not gonna do that. I learned my lesson the first time. She was like, all right, whatever, but I need to have a girls meeting tonight. Andy was like, at my place. She was like, yeah, at my place. She was like, all right, girl. And then Andy got her old regular schmeggler car. I mean, it's cute, but it is not as pretty as that blue rose. Anyway, so then we see Zach. He at somewhere. I guess, was he at his place? Because it looked like he was in somewhere with a construction site. I'm assuming it was his townhouse. So he called Gary up, and Gary like, well, who this? Who calling me? He was like, oh, this Zachary. He used his whole name. This Zachary Taylor. Anyway. So he was like, oh, okay, he was like, what you doing? I'm at work, I'm working and whatever. He was like, oh, okay. So then Zach starts telling Gary, he was like, I just got into the stocks and I put 19K down on this one stock, and then I hit big for 1 million. Gary was sitting in the chair like this. He was like, yeah, then I hit big for 1.7. Damn, what stock was that? I was cracking up. He was like, damn, what stock was that? He was like, Bella Noche's. I don't know what the stock was. That's my shit. If we can't go to Bella Noche's, then where we supposed to go? Anyway, I'm sorry. He was like, well, how you getting to that? Bella Noche's. Wait a minute. I heard about that. How you getting to that stock? Well, it was my first time. So, I was like guessing and stuff. So I had put some money down and like, boom, it hit. He was like, I bet it did hit. Shoot, I need to put some money in that shit. So then he was like, well, I'm just trying to figure out, as I heard some things about the stock might tank, but I don't really know. Like, should I pull out? Should I sell? Should I keep it in? It was like, no, man. I mean, I heard that thing got little legs on it, whatever. I mean, but you could pull out. He was like, So then Zach trying to get more information out of him. So then Gary was like, you know what? I'm going to hand you over to my boy Zach. I'm going to hand you over to my boy Jake. He real good with that. Jake like, shit, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm just flipping through these folders like I got something to do, but for real, I ain't got shit to do. So he was like, yeah, just text me the info and I get back to you or whatever. He was like, all right, yes, thank you, man, thank you. I'm texting you right now, Drew. I'm texting you right now. All right. So then they hang up. Jake like, thanks for the shout out. He was like, yeah, this Bella Noche shit though. We need to get into this. So then anyway, we see Danny. Like I said, the bed was all shifted and stuff like that. I told y'all all that. So then she all questioning her life decisions because she didn't just pulled out her whole card again. She just renewed that thing. And she had cashed it out and stuff. And then she didn't renew the membership. So now she back to being the ho-ho. So anyway, I mean, it be like that sometimes. But anyway, so she got her phone. She calling Bree up. She telling Bree, Bree telling her about what happened with Calvin and stuff. And she was like, girl, well, maybe he was just trying to show you that he a man and stuff like Jacoby or whatever like that. He was just trying to be tough and fight for you and stuff. She was like, yeah, maybe that's what it was. I wasn't even thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? So then, Danny had told her something like she was like, I wonder if they're gonna give me a promotion at work or whatever. She was like, girl, stop. She was like, no, for real, because I had stopped this sex trafficker and stuff like that. She was like, oh, for real, go ahead, Tanny, go Tanny. But I'm gonna call you back, girl, because I'm about to go to work and stuff. So I'm gonna talk to you later. She was like, all right, bet. It's a knock at her door. She was thinking it's El Fuego. So she like, I told you, blah blah blah. Got my house all tore up and stuff. So she goes to the door, child. Why is the sex trafficker? I said, how he get her address, child? Like, what is really going on? She run in the kitchen real quick, grab a knife, and that's how it ended. I said, child, this some hot ass mess. So now the sex trafficker that found her house and about to beat her up. And why wasn't he? Well, he did. No, they did lock him up. The security guard had arrested him, so, like, he must have got out. I don't know, child, but we're going to find out in next week's episode. Anyway, I hope y'all like this review recap. If you did, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified when your girl drop new videos. Because I am back, and I don't think I'm going nowhere no time soon. Knock on wood. Anyway, I will see y'all in the next one. Until then, y'all, peace.